You've just had your knee replaced and your leg feels stiff and swollen. Gentle, consistent movement is exactly what your body needs to start healing. Hi, I'm Kathy. I'm a licensed physical therapist, and today I'll walk you through safe recovery basics and the exercises you need to wake up your muscles and improve your motion. One of the most helpful things you can do early in recovery is manage your swelling. When you're resting, elevate your leg so that your foot is higher than your heart. A simple way to remember this is toes above your nose. While your leg is elevated, that's also the perfect time to apply ice for about 15 to 20 minutes to help reduce swelling and discomfort. You can do this every 2 to 3 hours. Make sure there's always a layer of cloth between your ice pack and your skin. If your healthcare provider recommends it, compression socks can also help reduce swelling in the lower leg and ankle during this stage. When resting, you'll want to avoid having a pillow or a towel roll under your knee. The reason is this: if the knee stays bent for long periods of time, the tissues can stiffen in that position. That can make it harder to fully straighten the knee later on. It's important to monitor for signs of deep vein thrombosis and infection. If you develop a fever, intense calf pain, unresolving numbness, tingling, excessive drainage from the incision site, uncontrolled pain, or any other symptoms that you are concerned about, contact your surgeon and be sure to follow any precautions your surgeon has laid out for you. Now, let's go through the exercises that are commonly started the first week after surgery. We'll start with exercises done lying down and then move into exercises done in sitting. And we'll finish with a simple movement that can make it easier to improve knee range of motion. The first exercise is a quad set, which helps activate the quadriceps muscle in the front of your thigh. After knee replacement surgery, this muscle often feels slow to respond because of swelling and the effects of surgery. You can place a small towel roll under your knee while you're doing this specific exercise. Now you'll want to tighten the muscle in front of your thigh and press the back of your knee down into the towel. Try to fully straighten your knee as you tighten the muscle. Hold the contraction for about 5 to 10 seconds, then relax. For most of these exercises, a good baseline is 10 repetitions 3 or 4 times throughout the day. Activating the muscles regularly helps with strengthening and can also help reduce swelling by acting as a muscle pump. For the bridges, bend both knees and place your feet flat on the surface, hip width apart. Tighten your core and squeeze your glute muscles, lifting your hips toward the ceiling. Hold this position for 3 to 5 seconds, then slowly lower your hips back to the starting point. As you're doing these, remember not to hold your breath. For the heel slide, slowly slide your heel toward your body. If you're doing this in bed and there's too much friction, try putting a plastic bag under your foot to help it slide better. When you reach the point where the knee won't bend further, you can use a strap or a towel to gently assist the motion. Hold the bend for about 5 seconds, then slowly slide the leg back straight. For the straight leg raise, keep the surgical leg straight. You can bend the other leg to help protect your back. Tighten the muscle in your thigh to keep the knee straight. Then lift your leg upward until it's even with the opposite leg. Lower it slowly. This exercise can be challenging early on. If you notice the knee bending when you lift your leg, that's called a quad lag. Try doing a quad set before you lift your leg. That will help you keep your knee straight. For hip abduction, lie on your side with your surgical leg on top. Keep the leg straight and in line with your body. You'll want to lift the leg upward toward the ceiling while keeping your hips stacked rather than rolling backward. You should feel this exercise working on the outside of the hip. Of all the movements we do early on, getting your knee straight is one of the most important goals. Ensuring the knee can extend fully in these early weeks prevents long-term tightness. This next stretch is a gentle but powerful way to protect your long-term mobility. This can be done both while lying down or sitting in a chair. To do it lying down, prop your heel up on a towel roll. Allow the knee to slowly straighten while your leg stays relaxed. The idea is to make sure that there's nothing behind your knee so that your knee can fully extend. While doing this stretch, you'll want to make sure your knee and your toes are pointing upward, not out to the side. If you're doing this stretch in sitting, you can use a stool or a chair to prop up your leg. This is a longer stretch. Try to hold it for up to 5 minutes. You could use an ice pack while you're stretching. The extra weight helps to stretch your knee. Take a break if you need to and continue when you're ready. It's normal if your knee feels a little warm or tight right now. We're waking those muscles up. The next exercise done sitting in a chair is knee flexion stretch. Place your foot on something that slides easily. A furniture slider works well, but you can also use a paper plate on carpet or a small towel on hardwood or tile floors. Slowly slide your foot back until you feel a stretch in the knee. Hold for 5 to 10 seconds, then slide the foot forward again. You can also use your other leg to gently assist the bend, but be careful not to twist the surgical leg. Keep the knee and toes pointing straight ahead. Scoot forward in your chair so that your feet are flat on the floor, about hip distance apart. Hinge forward from your hips and push through your heels to stand. If you need your arms to help you stand, push up from the chair if you're using a walker. Pulling up on it can cause your walker to tip. If your healthcare provider has cleared you to use a stationary bike, this can be a great way to improve knee motion. A recumbent bike works especially well early on. At first, you may not be able to pedal all the way around, and that's okay. Simply rocking the pedals back and forth can help improve knee motion. Try this for about 8 to 10 minutes. When you're ready for the next phase of recovery, we'll safely build on these early movements. If you're between 4 and 8 weeks out from your total knee replacement, you've made it to the next big milestone. By now, the worst of the early swelling is likely going down, and it's time to move from just protecting your knee to building real strength, reducing your limp, and getting your full knee range of motion back. Before we start the exercises, we need to cover 3 simple safety rules for this stage. First, you want to keep a quiet knee. This means your exercises should never cause a sharp spike in your pain or make your knee swell up. If it does, you need to back off. We're still going to avoid any jumping or twisting. We're strictly avoiding the high impact movements such as running, deep squats, and sudden twisting. You want to watch your knee alignment. Whenever you're standing on your leg, make sure your kneecap points straight forward over your toes. Don't let your knee cave inward. In the early weeks, we practiced tightening the thigh muscles while lying down. Now we're doing it while sitting up to build more strength. Slowly straighten your leg out in front of you, squeezing the top of your thigh tightly at the very top. Hold it for about 2 seconds and slowly lower it down. For all of the strengthening exercises we're doing today, you can start with 2 sets of 10 repetitions. A stable knee actually starts with strong hips. Loop a light resistance band around your ankles and hold on to a kitchen counter or a sturdy chair for support. Keep your body completely upright and kick your legs straight out to the side, keeping your toes pointed forward and your hips level as you're doing these. Once you've done 10 repetitions, kick straight back behind you for hip extension. As you're doing these, make sure you don't arch your back. You should feel this in the glutes, not your back. Last, we'll kick forward. This strengthens the hip flexors, which tend to be weak after surgery. Try not to lean your body as you move your leg, and remember to keep your toes pointing straight ahead. To help you move around your home and neighborhood, we need to practice stepping. Find a low step, about 6 inches high, and make sure you have a countertop or a chair to hold on to. Step leading up with your surgical leg 10 times. Next, practice stepping down slowly and with control, keeping your surgical leg on the step. Getting this movement smooth without knee wobbling is a huge goal for this phase. It's important to use a lower step with this because you likely don't have enough range of motion to control the descent from a higher step. Put your surgical leg on a stair or a step and gently bend your knee. When you get to a point where you feel a good stretch Without significantly increasing your pain, hold it for 20 to 30 seconds. Repeat this 5 times. Other stretches that are important are calf stretches. We'll start by stretching the gastrocnemius, which is the bigger muscle. Put the foot of the surgical leg back, keeping the heel down as you bend your front knee. Hold this for about 20 to 30 seconds and repeat 3 times. Next, we want to target the soleus muscle, which is under the gastroc. To do this, we'll slightly bend the knee of the leg we are stretching and hold it to 20 to 30 seconds like we did before. If you're still struggling to get your knee completely straight, gravity can help. Lie face down on your bed with your legs extended so that your kneecaps hang just past the very edge of the mattress. Completely relax your legs and let gravity pull it straight down. If you find this is too difficult, you can try putting a towel roll just above your knee and lie on your stomach with more support. Hold this stretch for about 5 minutes if you can, taking breaks as needed. Surgery can temporarily disrupt your body's natural sense of balance, which is why practicing safely is our next goal. Stand at your kitchen counter or near a sturdy chair and place both hands lightly on the surface. Lift your non surgical foot slightly off the floor, standing only on your surgical leg. Keep your hands hovering just an inch above the counter so that you can instantly catch yourself if you wobble. Try to hold this steady for 10 seconds. Practice this for just a few minutes each day to rebuild your confidence, and always make sure your physical therapist has cleared you to try this. Our final exercise isn't a stretch, it's a deliberate practice to fix your walking pattern and reduce your limp. I want you to take a few slow steps right now and focus on 3 specific phases. First, land firmly on your heel. Second, roll smoothly through the middle of your foot. Third, push off with your toes with a completely straight knee. Practicing this mindful heel toe pattern is the secret to safely transition away from canes and walkers once your therapist gives you the all clear. Once your doctor clears you for more advanced exercises, this is where we'll look at the next phase. I'll see you there. You're officially 2 to 3 months out from your knee replacement, which is a major milestone in your recovery. By now, the daily stiffness is likely easing up, and your focus is shifting from simple healing to building real world strength and confidently returning to your favorite activities. Before we begin, let's go over 3 quick safety keys. First, you want to monitor for joint comfort. While these exercises will challenge you, they should never cause a lasting ache or swelling. If your knee feels warm later, take a step back and rest. Control your alignment. Keep your kneecap pointing straight ahead over your toes during every movement. Avoid letting your knee cave inward. You'll also want to avoid quick pivoting. We're building multi-directional strength, but your joint is still healing. So avoid sudden twisting or sharp cutting movements. We've been working on stabilizing your hips, and now we're going to make that movement functional. Loop a light resistance band around your ankles or just above your knees. Stand tall next to your kitchen counter for light support. Lower into a very slight, comfortable mini squat and step slowly to the side. Focus on keeping your feet pointing straight ahead rather than turning outward. Take a few steps to the right, then back to the left. This lateral movement is the secret to protecting your balance on uneven surfaces. We practiced sitting and standing in earlier weeks, but now we want to ensure both legs are working equally. Sit on the edge of a sturdy chair with your feet hip width apart. Before you stand, make sure you aren't shifting all of your weight onto your non surgical leg. Press firmly through your heels equally, hinge forward from your hips, and stand up smoothly. Slowly lower yourself back down to barely touch the chair before standing again. Aim for 2 sets of 10 repetitions to build symmetrical thigh strength. Managing stairs comfortably requires exceptional control when stepping downward. Stand on a low step. I'm using a standard 6-inch step today, and make sure you have a handrail or a sturdy counter nearby for safety. Keep your surgical foot firmly planted on top of the step and slowly bend your surgical knee to lower your opposite foot down until your heel gently kisses the floor, then push back up. Focus on keeping your knee tracking straight forward over your toes without wobbling. Start with 8 slow repetitions on each side. Rebuilding your body's natural stability is crucial for walking outside without fear. Stand next to the counter near a sturdy chair and place both hands hovering just an inch above the surface. Lift your non surgical foot, balancing entirely on your surgical leg. Try to hold this steady for 15 to 20 seconds. Always keep your hands close to the counter so that you can instantly catch yourself if you wobble. Our final practice today focuses on building your endurance for longer community walks. When you're out walking, you can start introducing mild hills or gentle inclines to challenge your leg strength naturally. Continue to focus on a mindful, fluid gait. Land on your heel, roll smoothly through the middle of your foot, and push off with a completely straight knee. If you use a stationary bike at home, you can now safely introduce moderate resistance for 15 to 20 minutes to build your cardiovascular stamina. Following these exercises will help you get strong and return to the activities you love. If you still need help with your balance, watch this video next. It features advanced balance exercises to help you reach that next level of stability.